What up, everybody? Not really going to do a story at the beginning of this video because I have a lot to talk about in regards to the response I've been getting from doing this quest adventure expedition. Not a journey. Stop saying journey. But since doing this, I've been getting a lot of response from people in person, like my friends and like people that I kind of know who have been following this, and people online who I don't know at all. And the response has been fucking overwhelming in a good way. I'm not getting blasted with fucking messages every day, but it's been awesome. I've been having conversations openly and honestly and directly about weight, about identity, about how people view fat people, about how fat people feel they're viewed, whether or not it's true. It's true. But it's been really eye-opening because I never thought that I could have those open and honest conversations. I never thought that I could have the just, immediate outcry of it, or not outcry, but like immediate outpour of this is how I feel, this is what people, or this is how people make me feel, and it's great. And I think I never thought that because when I was a kid and I was going through really just childhood in general, being fat and always having been the fat kid, it was never talked about in a direct, honest, and truthful way with no type of shame added to it. Like there's enough shame in regards to being fat, right? Like we can all say that. No matter who I think you are, if you are fat, you have some shame there. Some people own it. Some people own it. Some people are able to, kind of maneuver around it and never directly wear it badly. But shit, man, maybe I'm just speaking for myself in this case. I feel like there's a lot of shame connected with it. And I was always afraid to talk about it in an honest and truthful way, which is why I would then I would be the funny fat guy. As a kid, I loved Chris Farley, right? Like, Chris Farley, to this day, is one of my idols. And the reason why he was my idol is because he was a fat guy. He was a fat guy who was funny, and he would point out that he was fat, but it never looked like he was sad about it. And we all know in his life, in his real life, he was addicted to drugs and overeating, binge eating, and drinking because of the stigma and shit that he had to deal with from being fat. But in his movies, he was so confident and so this is me, buddy, too fucking bad, and he would just roll with it. And I always wanted that in life, and to a certain degree, I did get it. But when I would talk about it with my family, if it was the subject of, all right, we need to talk to Chris about his weight, there was always some type of shame or some type of embarrassment, that there was like a subtext to the conversation. Like, the subtext was, you should be ashamed of this, you should be sad about it, and you should do something about it. It got to the points of health sometimes, but it was never directly about your health. It was never directly about, hey, we need to make sure that you're gonna live a long time, which is what we're worried about. There was always some type of shame with an expected shame of how I looked. There was always this expected type of idea that I should be worried or ashamed of how I look in public. And obviously there is that with anything, I think. I would guess there's a lot to do with that. But I mean, fuck that. Yeah, it can be embarrassing. It is embarrassing to go out in public and wear a tight ass shirt and have people look at you, and that causes me anxiety, or as I've been calling it, fatsanxiety. And there's a shame of, going into a public place and not being able to sit in the seat. I was just talking with some friends last night about how I don't go to a lot of shows because I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to fit into the seat. Like, if it's a sit-down show, I really don't like to go to it because I'm not going to be able to fit into the seat. And that sucks, but to give you an idea on how I wish I was able to handle it better and how I'm learning how to handle it, 3 weeks ago I went to the Apollo with my friend AJ, and we got there early, and we got these great seats, like right in the middle for this whole brand new Apollo show. We were right in the middle, in the front, like in the middle section area, right in the front, right near the stage. And we both looked at each other and we were like, we're not going to get in there. AJ could have totally gotten in there. He would have been very comfortable. I wasn't getting in there. It was packed. There was people right there. And I wasn't going to fit in there. I wouldn't have fit into the seat, let alone getting through the fucking aisle of people. It wasn't going to happen. But AJ was just like, he was like, oh, yeah, that's not happening. And he he went up to these two girls who had like aisle seats. And he was just like, hey, you know, me and my buddy, we're kind of big guys. We're not going to fit in there. Do you want to switch? We have better seats than you. You can have them. And they immediately went over there, took the seats. They were really thankful about it. And we had, you know, some nice roomy seats that we could be in. I feel like if I was by myself in that situation, I would have just left. I would have just left the fucking theater. I would have been like, oh, well, this isn't happening. Or I would have just awkwardly walked around, stopping in certain places, acting like I was doing something, but I wasn't. I'm just embarrassed that I can't fit into that seat, and then I'm not going to try. And I wish I could think on my feet like that in certain situations, and that's or whatever. But what I really wish is that I didn't feel any type of like internal fucking shame and embarrassment. I wish I didn't feel like that. And I don't know if it's something I can attribute to my youth, or if it's something that I can attribute to, you know, just being a anxiety-fueled, insecure type of guy. But I do wish I was able to talk about it more without the shame. And that's what this is doing. It's bringing people to me who want to talk about this in a non-shameful way. And it's awesome. It's great. I really appreciate that. It's been great having conversations with people, just open and direct. And yeah, fucking loving it. It's great. It's making me feel good. Feel a little bit more confident. It's almost like a relief to go, okay, that's a good thing. That's a plus. You're good on that. I don't know, maybe I'm just babbling right now, but it's keeps me hopeful. Keeps me hopeful, keeps me positive, and keeps me in a very good way. And to give you an example of it, today, so what I do for a living, I'm an insurance adjuster. I go out to different places, I look at damages, and then I write estimates for it. I got a job in today where I'm going to have to go into a crawl space tomorrow to check out damages. Now, normally that's not a big issue, but it is, because a crawl space is tiny. I'm a large individual. It's anxiety-inducing to worry about that sort of thing, because there's the embarrassment of it. Well, first of all, there's the, oh shit, I gotta get into a fucking crawl space. That's like, you know, not scary, but like worrisome enough, even if you're a regular-sized dude. But there's that. There's the shame of now, shit, I am not going to be able to fit in there, probably. Third, I got to ask a friend of mine to help me out of this jam, right? So, luckily I was, but in asking him, I didn't feel a lot of shame. I didn't feel a lot of embarrassment with it. It was more, I was able to be direct about it and be like, hey, look, this is the issue. Can you help me? And he was like, yeah, no problem. And there was no shame. There was no jokes about it. Not that I don't like jokes. I think jokes are great. Down fucking jokes. But it was cool. It was a good conversation where I didn't start to sweat. I didn't start to worry. I wasn't thinking about, oh man, this guy's gonna think I'm a fucking idiot or a loser, or, you know, all these self-deprecating thoughts that really have nothing to do with me getting into a crawl space or not. It was good. It was a good feeling, and I attribute the confidence, or the newfound confidence I have of asking for help in that way, to all of this. I mentioned before, I had told a friend years ago, when we were talking, that I never want to be an inconvenience to someone. I never want to be the, shit, this guy's fat, he's an inconvenience here. I've always tried to avoid that. But, oh fucking well, sometimes I am, and sometimes other people are, in different ways. We all have our shit, and it's important to know what it is, because you can own it in a different way. Me and a friend of mine, Gus, were talking about the conversation of owning stuff, and like owning your fat. And to a certain extent you do, but I don't think anyone ever really owns it directly, because there's always something tied in. Be it, you know, you're owning it so people don't make fun of you, but then in that way you're backing down from, you know, you're going towards not wanting people to make fun of you. So therefore you're somewhat owning it in that way, but you're also caving into them. There's a lot of ins and outs in this case, I guess. It's hard, and maybe I don't have the the mental knowledge at this point to be able to talk about this in a constructive way. Anyone who watches this, video, if you want to like talk about it, that's cool. Maybe we can get our thoughts down on paper and collaborate in some weird way. But either way, I'm really happy about this whole video vlog thing. I think it's doing well. It's doing a little bit of wonders for my confidence. I'm feeling better. Mentally, I feel I don't feel like I have a strain on me. I don't feel I have this pressure. And even if I'm just talking to a camera, and if no one fucking watches, I still think that this would be a positive thing, and I'm fucking happy about it. Some people have been telling me that maybe I shouldn't make my videos 15 to 25 minutes long. So right now I'm seeing that the timer says 10 minutes. I have a lot of shit to do today. I'm going to be running around doing work and going to see people. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit short. You let me know if this should be longer or shorter or whatever. I don't know. Opinions. I like opinions. Opinions are cool. So anyway, I'm going to take accountability. I fucked up yesterday. I did not do DDP yoga. I should have done it this morning, and I did not. I actually got a good amount of sleep last night, and I woke up and I just drank a smoothie and worked on some stuff for work that I could have done it. I could have done it. I fucked up. I got lazy and didn't do it. And even though I'm not slipping up with, binge drinking or, eating food, I got to be accountable for what I say I'm going to do. So I'm going to do the DDP yoga. I'm going to shoot for later today. But that's a lie as well, because I have plans later tonight. So I'm going to shoot for tomorrow. And I'm going to really try tomorrow. And if you don't see a video or a live stream of me doing some fucking yoga tomorrow, call me out. Make fun of me. Be like, hey, you're a fucking asshole. You're a liar. You should start doing some shit. Yeah, accountability. Anyway, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, @LoseTheJelly. Thank you all very much for watching and sharing and commenting. And let's keep this dialogue going. Stay weird.